So in previous video, we saw that how can we install Java in our system so that we can begin programming in Java. Other than it, we also downloaded an editor which is known as Visual Studio Code, and that editor is going to be used by us throughout the course. So let us begin the concept of basic syntax of Java in this video. Along with it, we are going to see the use of JAVA and JAVAC commands. So let's basically create a new file here, and I am basically just going to save this file as new file. Okay, and I want to give the file type as Java because I am basically coding in Java language. After that, what I'm going to do is I will just close this console, and in this new file I'm just going to declare a class. We know that everything in Java is either a class or object, so I need to declare a class if you want to code in Java. So first of all, I will declare a class. Now when you give a name to this class, we definitely want to give a name to this class also. So whenever you give the name to this class, you need to remember some set of rules. These rules are not necessary to be followed, but is provided us by the standard programming protocol. So it is good that if you follow this rule. So whenever you name a class in Java, you need to remember that the first letter of that Java class name should be capital. Other than it, if there is more than one word present in the Java class name, then the every word should begin with a capital letter. So I will just name this class as new class, and as new and class are two separate words, C should be capital, and as the class name begins with new, N should be capital. After that, I will open two braces, and in that I will just write or say declare the main method. Main method in Java is something from where the program execution begins. So let me just write main method here. So public static void main, and the main method is going to have an argument, okay, and that argument would be named as args. This particular argument is of type array. It is an array argument, and this particular argument is going to store the type, that is data type string. So it is an array that is going to store the string data. After that, I am going to write system dot out dot println hello and void. So I will just put a semicolon here also, and I will just save my file. Now let's run this file, and afterwards we are going to see that why is this public static and void thing written before the main function, what is the system.out.println, what is string args. So for all that we are going to see in the upcoming part of this video. For now, let's just run this particular file. So we know that if you want to run the Java file, first of all you need to compile the Java file. For compiling the Java file, we are going to use the JAVAC command, and we are going to provide the argument as the file name. So JAVAC is the command for compiling the file. When you compile the Java program, it is basically converted into a bytecode. Bytecode is a machine independent code, and that machine independent code is later interpreted by Java virtual machine, and we get our output. So let's run basically compile our program. So JAVAC, and file name is new file, and file extension is Java. So if there is any compile time error present when you run JAVAC command, and if there is some compile time error, then it will be showing you the error. But as this program is not having compile time error, it won't show it to you. After that, we are going to use Java command. Whenever you use the Java command, you need to remember that you are going to provide the argument as the class name that you want to run in the whole Java file. Here, I want to run the new class as the whole Java program. Okay, so I will just provide the class name that I want to run with the Java command. So class name here is new class. Okay, so it is going to give us the output hello world. So program is successfully compiled and running. Now let us understand that why is this public static and void written before the main method. So here main method is something from where the program execution begins. Void here is the return type of main. Void means nothing or empty. So main method is not going to return us anything. You need to remember that in Java, the main method is always going to have a return type of void. It can't be integer like it used to be in C and C++ because it is invalid. Other than it, static here is basically used by us because this whole particular class is used here. And we know that if we want to run a class, we need an object. Okay, so if we don't have an object, and if we want to run some function that is present inside the class, we need to declare that particular function as static. So that is why we are using static keyword here. Other than it, we are declaring a keyword that is public here. Public is an access specifier, access modifier, okay. And if you don't declare the main method as public, the Java runtime environment won't be able to run it. And as main method is something from where the program execution runs, as the main method is not going to be allowed by the Java runtime environment, if it is not going to be declared as public, therefore the whole program would be running. So this is why we declare the main method as public. We use static as a keyword because there is no object present to this new class, and without the object we want to run this particular main method. Other than it, void is the return type here and main is the method here itself. Now what does this particular string args do? The string args basically stores the command line argument that is provided by the user. Now, how can we know that this particular string args stores the command line argument? So for that you need to see this program, that is for int I equal to 0, I is less than n. Sorry, n is not here the case. I will just use args dot length and I plus plus. What I want to print is whatever is stored inside this args argument. So I am just going to write system dot out dot println. I want to print args of I. For those who are new to the coding, I will be explaining the for loop in the future. For those who are already familiar to the coding, what I am doing here is I am creating a for loop and I am printing whatever is present inside this array, that is args array, who is going to store the data of type string. Okay. So now let's once more compile the program because we have made some changes here. So whenever you make the changes, you need to run the program again. So Java new file dot Java. Okay, and again there is no compile time error that is present here. And I will just write Java, and I want to run the new class. Therefore, I will write new class, and I am going to provide the command line arguments, and those command line arguments are going to be stored in this args array. And as we have used a for loop to print whatever is stored in this args, it is going to print that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to provide command line argument as 1 2 3, and I'm going to just hit on enter. So you can see that 1 2 3 and hello world is printed. So args basically stores the command line argument that is provided by the user. Now, other than it, you also want to know that if you declare a particular class in the Java program as public, then the file name that you are using should be same as the class name. Okay. Or the class name that you are using should be same as the file name. So I will just change my class name. Okay. And that class name would be new file. Okay, because new file is equal to the Java file's name. Therefore and after that I will just save this. Now why is it so that we need to save the Java file as the class name, Java file name as the class name? So it is basically the rule that is provided by Java that whenever you declare a class as public, you need to store the file name as class name or class name as file name. So now as I also made the changes once again, so I also want to compile the program once again. So after JAVAC, I'm going to write the file name, that is new file dot Java. Okay. Now there is no compile time error here, and I am just going to run Java, and I want to run the new file class that is present there. So Java new file, and I am going to provide the argument as 1 2 3 4. So you can see 1 2 3 4 and hello world is being printed successfully. Now let's just change the file name as sorry, class name here as 1 and save the program. And let me just run the JAVAC command here. Okay, and let's see what's happening. So Java new file.java. Now as we have given the name to a class that is declared as public different than the file name, it is showing us an error that class new file1 is public and it should be declared in a file name as new file1.java. That is the class name should be equal to the file name. Okay. So you need to remember that whenever you are declaring a class in Java as public, the file name, that is the class, should be stored in a file name should be stored in a file having the name same as the class name. So this is the concept of Java. So in this video we have basically just covered the basic syntax of Java, and this is the code to the basic syntax of the Java. We have also seen the functionalities of the string args. Other than it, we have also seen why we have written static, public and void in front of main, and what does system.out.println do. In next session, we will just see at the different concepts of Java like identifiers, comments, and keywords in Java. So I hope that you enjoyed this session. Stay connected. Do follow, like, share, and subscribe.